Good morning, everybody. Hello, Joy K. Hello, Kimberly. Man, Janica, how are you? Well, I tell you what, you wouldn't even believe what I'm going through. I have a phone that might as well be on Antiques Roadshow. I've had it that long. It no longer takes a charge. So I went and I got another phone yesterday. And everybody I talked to try to activate the service on the new phone, I can't understand a word they say. And here's the funny part. They can't understand a word I say. So I'm trying to speak like Jeff Gordon. You know how he enunciates? I'm almost like spelling things. Mr. Zach Walker, thank you for the Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Kimberly, thank you for the memberships. Right off the bat, it's raining. Norma is in hot as heck Tucson, Arizona. I'm going to be doing a show about your area on Thursday. I understand there's a lot of stuff cooking in the Nancy Guthrie case. I received a short today from News Daddy. He didn't send it to me personally, but I know he wanted to. He has other people do his handiwork. And it's, wow, there's a lot going on. It's going to be nothing here after that torrential rain yesterday and more coming this afternoon. Nothing more than 100% humidity. Let's take a moment. And Norma, I would love for you to come on panel and tell us what is going on in Arizona, in your area, in the Tucson area. Let's take a second and tell everybody good morning. And you know what today is? Laura's favorite day. Uli's favorite day. There's a picture of her cat Finn. When life hands you lemons, hand them back because you deserve tacos. Look at Finn with his little sombrero on. My goodness. Look at Finn go. Jack of all trades. He's always doing something. My goodness. My goodness. Please, everybody, there's 92 people in here already. Please hit the like. My goodness. So yesterday, very interesting show. A lot of people in here listening, watching, commenting, interacting. Had a lot of comments from you guys. And I mean a lot. They were all pretty much the same. It was like, would Ziggy quit talking over Fred? Well, she's not going to. She is not going to. I don't know if she's being protective wife, which I get. Don't think I'm up here ragging on Ziggy. She's got enough going on. I'm not the kick them when they're down person. Well, there's a couple of people. Can't, and con. Okay? You know who I'm talking about. So let's get back to it because this is part 2, and it's extremely interesting the way that Chris McDonough is asking Fred questions, and every time Fred says to Ziggy, shh, or no, that's not important. Or she brings something up that has nothing to do with what Chris is asking. He seems to be a little bit frustrated. Chris does. He seems to be. But he always holds his composure, keeps his patience in order, stuff like that. And I'm just loving that Fred gave him so much information. Now, let me ask you, do you believe that Fred really took a bunch of liquor up to Don and Candace wearing a wire to see if they would talk? My understanding is that is the reason that a couple of deputies had to go find other jobs. True Crime Beat said, nope, she's not buying it. I'm Out said, nope, she's not buying it. Chocolate Covered Pickles said, nope, nope, Sherry's not having it. But who knows in this case? I played this yesterday. I'll play this again. After hearing the confusion in the stories between Fred, Laura, Chad, Can't, Dawn, Jody, Andy, I really don't know how, I don't know what Ziggy could recollect because I have never heard that she was there, but hey, she's trying to help. I get what the DA is saying.
This is a very complicated issue that has been made more complicated by the players in this drama.
No. Hello, Moto.
Who the hell's calling me? It's been made more complicated by the players in this game. Bonnie said, I don't believe he had anything to do with PD. No wires, no recorders, no rides with them, no info, all lies. My goodness.
That's the main thing, find someone.
Yes.
She's the main thing. It's not about anything other than that.
Mhm.
Okay. And so if this information, if I can verify some of this information with my sources, then we may be onto something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway,
what about
U.S. Marshals? They go out, collect 22 kids at a hotel in Knoxville.
Well,
yeah,
but
in
they, of
between
course,
the three motels, the one off Alcoa and one the two that was off.
it's not like they told you specifically
Magnolia.
that raid was because of you. Of course, they
Well,
don't
they
tell.
didn't say it was specifically because of me, but the three motels that I turned the information in on, and we mapped out, and I was sitting there with 5 other investigators, and we was
What they told you.
going over where the motels are supposed to be located and everything. They did send, I don't know if it's because of my information or whose information, but I do know that
Anyone in the Knoxville area, or I'll just say the East Tennessee area, did you see anything on your news about these, I'm going to say children, being taken out of these hotels? I can't find it, but I may not be looking hard enough. Robin said, I believe the law did it. Dawn even said on a panel that law brought Candace alcohol. Well, there we go. There we go.
they was that unit out of Texas and the U.S. Marshals had went to them Pacific 3 motels and did get 22 children. But I don't know if it was my information that they used or whether it was somebody else's, but it was just weird that they went to them Pacific motels within a week of all of that information being turned in.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and assume all of this is true. Salt of the earth, true. My question is, how did Fred know? Did he hear this through the grapevine? Or was he involved? I'm just asking because I don't know. I don't know. And I know you guys watch a lot more stuff than I do.
where did this Dennis Smith go?
Mm-hmm. That's what I was about to bring up.
Well, Dennis Smith, see, he took off from my halfway house in the mix of trying to get the rest of the information I was trying to get and stuff, and trying to get pictures and stuff of the kids and stuff, trying to get him to get me pictures, which he wouldn't ever get me pictures. He just get recordings of them talking and stuff. But
Sure. So it could have been anybody.
yeah, it could have been anybody, but
He claimed to be Vice Lords.
yeah,
And
he talked like it was Vice Lord affiliated, all of it.
Who did Don and Andy owe a drug debt to?
All I know is his name was Playboy, went by Playboy.
Oh my goodness.
Is it black guy, white guy, Hispanic?
He's a light-skinned black guy, is what they're letting on.
And
But see, another thing,
where's he out of?
he's from Knox County. You talking about the Playboy?
His street name is Playboy?
Yes, that's what he went
Do
by.
you know his first name?
I don't. I wish I did.
And how come Playboy would trust Don and Andy with $48,000?
I don't know.
did DJ tell you?
It's been a added up amount over a period of time.
Something.
Is the way I took it.
I heard something about prison, but I don't know. Or
Well, he's talking about the money, wasn't he? But
Yeah, the
from
money.
yeah.
it was just,
I was just saying, I
from
think
what I'm understanding, it was just an added up amount over a lengthy time.
we'll tell him
period.
about that incident in August.
I
It's
will.
really important.
But
Sorry,
see,
Chris.
before Don called or the CPS stepped in and took the boys, Don came to my house and stuff and was wanting me to go back to Knoxville with him to negotiate a deal and stuff with his dealer,
Mhm.
which I wouldn't go and stuff with him. At the time, I didn't know about this other situation about Dennis and stuff, about the summer situation and stuff with the other. But anyway, he was trying to get me to go to Knoxville and stuff with him to negotiate a deal the night before the boys was took or whatever by CPS. But he tried to say that he took and called the CPS. He tried to tell me that he called specifically the CPS to come get the boys because they weren't safe there and stuff. But he tried to blame it on YouTube, but people from YouTube, that they weren't safe because of them. But in all reality, he was trying to get me to go to Knoxville with him to negotiate a deal with his dealer within 24 hours or something, him calling for them to come get the boys, you see.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like
So
it made me
he
what.
came to you?
Yeah, he came to me.
Because you were saying to him,
Yeah, see, I done when
because law
they
enforcement
was
told you.
trying to get me to talk to Dawn about who he owed at first and stuff. When Summer first went missing, when they was wanting me to hit on him, I was like, well, hit Dawn if you, whatever you need to do, wherever she's at, just let me know. It don't matter how much money, whatever, it can be come up.
Lisa, you are so right. Fred is neck deep. I don't know that he's neck deep in the Summer situation per se, but we know that he has been to jail several times for rug dealing. We know he shot at a dude in his driveway. We know he knows a lot about the Cotton Simpson case. We know that Ziggy said he's a witness in 2 different high-profile crimes. Now we're hearing about, I'm going to assume, some kind of trafficking situation going on in Knoxville. Avon guy, resend your email and I'll get a hold of you. I obviously didn't get it.
with. We just didn't know where she's at to deliver the money and stuff. And see, by me saying all that, I think he thought, well, maybe I would go with him that time and negotiate a deal.
Okay, interesting. But how does Andy? How is he part of this debt, money owed?
From what all I know is I was just told they owed the debt, you know. But then I'm trying to think in my head, how if they both owed the debt, if Don's having to take and give up one of his children, what's Andy got to do, you know? Andy's going to have to pull his weight in something other. But from what Dennis told me, that Summer was passed off between 3 different cars in a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
That he did what? Say it again?
Dennis told me that Summer, when they went to every house Summer got to Knoxville, but she was transported in three different cars in a real short period of time. So if somebody seen her get in this car, then if it was pulled over or anything, she wouldn't be there.
Okay.
That makes me wonder then, by me seeing Andy on the road, and then that blue truck sitting in there, and then that white HHR, it makes me wonder if that's the 3 vehicles she was passed between.
Oh, I see what you're saying. What about, how did they get her off the property?
Kind of way I took it, the way Dennis talked, probably Andy got his son to bring her to the bottom of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And where at?
Okay, so they're adamant that Andy has something to do with this. Very confusing for me, considering Andy recorded a phone call between himself and Detective John Pruitt that said he had no questions for him. None. I don't really hang my hat on Pruitt's detective skills, gonna tell you, I just don't. But if you have a suspect and someone who you think, as Fred said, sent their son up the hill to snatch Summer, then wouldn't you have a lot of questions? Wouldn't you have a lot of questions?
Exactly.
He didn't say. He just talked like that. He got his son involved just enough to keep him from speaking.
So Andy got his son involved
Yeah, from what I was told out in Knoxville by Dennis.
to go up and get Summer?
Yeah.
Talking about
And did Summer obviously on her own go with him, you think?
I would think she probably would, because see, the last time I seen Summer physically seen her was about 3 weeks before she actually was reported missing. And I went up to the Wells's, and I went up there going to ask Don if he had a gallon of gas I could borrow so I could make it sure I made it to town. I was going to go bring it back to him. But when I pulled up, Don wasn't there or nothing. But it was odd that Damien and Summer was in a swimming pool where the red barrel was that the video was made of her dancing. Before that barrel was there was a swimming pool there. And Damien and Summer was in that swimming pool. Damien had his back kind of towards the door of the house, and they was just them two out there. And Candace came out after I pulled up, and he was just sitting.
And how old is Damien?
He was 19 at that time.
mm-hmm.
Got it.
Hell, he doing in a kiddie pool. And where is the pool now? Good morning, Jean. Where is the pool now? That's kind of a stupid question because it's been over 5 years. It didn't take long for that pool to come down. So Damien's up there, according to Fred. Remember, everything we talk about on this channel is alleged, and we can only take people's word for what they saw or what they think they know. Jaden said there's a reason Jody had to state exactly where her children stood in the cabin when they heard the scream, then contacted news for the interview. Lisa said that's my question. The pool got gone quick, real quick. Okay, let's just theoretically, speculation only. Let's just say something happened in that pool when they got back. Not going to say what, not going to say that I know anything about it. Why would Candace, Dawn, or Grandis cover for Damien? These people don't cover for anyone except each other. I pick up what he's putting down. I do, for a fact. It's just quite a curveball I wasn't expecting. And isn't Jody and Andy's son in the military? If he was a suspect in a case like this, that he wouldn't be in the military anymore.
And this is Andy and Jody Sue's son.
Yes.
Which you didn't know what that was even his name.
Is this the boy who supposedly reported hearing the scream?
Yes. The animalistic scream.
Yeah.
But I thought it was odd.
Well, if you listen to the interview, and I think Criminal has it perfectly put out. OJ, that's my remote control. Thank you for helping. It was a muffled scream, and then it became animalistic. Those are two very different things.
That Summer would be outside in the pool, just him and her. Of course, when I pulled up, I mean, he was just sitting with his back kind of towards the door of Dawn and Candace's upstairs. And he had his arms laying out on the edge of the pool, just sitting there in the pool. But Summer was just jumping around in the pool on the other side of him and kind of in front of him, playing. But why, it doesn't make sense to me. Why would Summer only be out there playing with him and stuff? Why wouldn't the other boys be out there playing? You would thought if he was up there playing with the kids, he would be there playing with the boys and not Summer.
Why did the boys not go to town with Cant? Why were the boys left there alone? Why would a 19-year-old want to play with a 5-year-old or boys? Okay, at 19, he's going to think he's a man and he's out of a babysitting mode. You know what I mean? That's insane. Tropicana said, I also heard that Dawn took one of Playboy's girls to help her get away. Oh, what a hero. What a hero. This is absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So where does Hunter come into this?
I don't know nothing about Hunter. I've never seen Hunter before YouTube or knowed anything about Hunter before YouTube.
Okay, we'll leave him out of the conversation then. So let's go back to Damien for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What the day you said you come up there? What day was that again? Remind me if you remember.
When I seen him in the pool or what?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was about 3 weeks before she had went missing.
Okay.
I don't know exact date. It was roughly about 3 weeks.
Okay, that's fine. And did you tell TBI all this, I hope?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Are they looking at him for anything?
I don't know. I've turned the information and stuff in, but as far as them really actually telling you what they're actually taking serious, they don't, you know.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's kind of frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I do know is when I turned that information in and stuff in Knoxville, with
took it
all
seriously.
of this that we're talking about right now, about how everything's supposed to conspire and everything down from the 13th up till she went missing, everything, it was turned in and stuff. And then the only thing I know that they did go to them motels, whether it was my information or somebody else's, which I feel like it was my information, or they went and went them Pacific.
What would they tell you about Pruitt, about the information?
Look at my friend Jay the Italian cookie. My eyes aren't awake, but I'm listening. Old Freddy sure is full of tea or BS. So which is it? Which is it? Which is it? Boston said, why would Fred insert himself this deep if he was lying about everything? That's exactly what I'm saying. Because this is atrocious information. We're hearing about girls in different hotels in Knoxville. We're hearing about Damien in a baby pool with Summer 3 weeks before. We're hearing all these things. Nobody would even want to be a part of this unless there's something in it for him. I don't know because I haven't talked to Fred. We're friends on Facebook and haven't talked to Ziggy since we were on another panel.
They told me when I went in to turn that information in, they're like, well, we're not even going to let it go on to Pruitt's desk, because a lot of stuff that's going to Pruitt's desk is going straight in the trash. So they called the TPI to come from Knoxville, the field office in Knoxville, up there to download everything off my phone and stuff. And we was going over maps and stuff while the TBI was on the way from Knoxville to download all that information off the phone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And eventually, did they come to your house, you said? And did they take all that information?
No, I was in the halfway house when that happened.
You were on a break.
Yeah.
Okay, this is before you got locked up?
This was after I got out of jail from being locked up and went straight to the halfway house.
They wanted to keep it.
Got it. Okay.
Tell them how they wanted to keep it, but you.
Yeah, they wanted to keep my phone and stuff, but where I was in the halfway house, everything had to be documented through my phone and stuff. I mean, when I went to meetings, I had to go in my phone and log in because they tracked my location and stuff through my phone. Everything I done, even if I left out of the halfway house, I had to sign in and out through my phone and stuff, so I couldn't leave it with them. And that's when reason I had to wait so long for them to get up there to download everything, because I couldn't leave my phone with them that day.
Got it. Are you, with your PO, do they require you to keep tabs with your PO right now?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, my PO up here, well, I have to abide by Tennessee and Indiana, because you're on state. Yeah, I'm in Indiana now, not in Tennessee, so.
And how that got done, I will never know. I will never know. Unless Tennessee was just like, yeah, you can have him. He can check in with you. He can check in with you. We really don't want to do this anymore. Because that's quite a transfer from Tennessee to Indiana to make another state responsible for your prisoner who's on probation. I don't know. And he's saying all kinds of stuff, and these are some allegations that, wow, are blowing my mind.
You have to check in.
No worries. I understand.
But yeah, I have to check in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have to check in with my PO and stuff every morning. On my phone, I have to log into a site and to check, see if I've got a drug screen. That's why I'm usually up at 5 o'clock every morning, because I'm always wanting to get it over with.
Yeah, they want a piss test from you.
Yeah, I mean, I have to check and see if I have to have one every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I've been in this business since 1982.
Yeah.
Dang. As long as I've been alive, almost. I was born in 81.
Before you both were born.
N-
You know,
No, Fred's older. Fred was born in 70s.
couple of weekends. I used to supervise the parolees on Thursday nights coming in to do the P test. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I
fun.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That
I
was
mean,
years ago. That was back in the day.
That's a sucky job, I would think.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I take and do that call in every day, or I can call in or log in on the site. It's easier to just log in and do it. And then the 9th of every month, I have to make my payments to Hawkins County and stuff. It has to be made on the 9th. And then
The
on the
11th.
11th, I have to check in to my regular probate, check into her through a website. That's all I've got to do.
Got it. So there's two theories so far from you: an accident cover-up, and the second.
Theories. And I know all of you have one. So please put your theory in. Remember, it's your opinion only. What do you think happened? What do you think happened? Carly said 82 was a good year. She was born in 82. You just a baby. I was in 2nd grade.
Is a drug debt
Possible.
that both Andy and Don owe maybe $48,000
Yeah.
to a dude by the name of Playboy out of Knoxville.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to pick her up on the 13th, but CPS was coming on the 14th. So
Yeah.
they waited to the 15th.
Yeah. That's what he talked about.
Okay. And then you think that Damien may have been the individual to contact her, or Don may have passed her off, or how do you think that happened?
I feel like Damien brought her from top to hill at the Wellses down to the road and passed her off to somebody right there. And then most likely Andy, I feel like that's why she looked sedated and stuff in that milk jug video. I feel like it was already arranged for when they got there, everything just unfold.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where the dog trail story comes in?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you know you could drive down to the bottom property? Did he know that?
Huh?
Did he know you could drive down to the bottom property?
What, from the top of
Yeah.
the Wellses?
Yeah, that's something I didn't know.
Well, just like when Don talked about when he first came in and stuff, he told
He told me he went to the shed.
yeah, but see, he told me that he took and went straight to the top of the hill at the house, and he said, instead of going to the left or to the right, like go around by the basement, he talked like he pulled up straight on up to the top of the hill, and he said when he pulled up there, where they cut that power line off down through there, he could see the boys at the creek down there. So he said that he just turned around and went off that back side, because that little shed or building kind of underneath the bank on the left-hand side of his driveway, when you go up and the driveway first forks, at the end of that building, there's a road that goes all the way off and down to the bottom property.
Okay.
And see, that's what he told me. He went down there.
Which he didn't even tell law enforcement about that property. They had no idea until
they didn't even know that Don even owned that bottom piece of property until they was at my house and I was talking to them and stuff about possible places to look and stuff. And they was shocked that they didn't even know that Don owned that shed and stuff down there at that point.
Do you think? Did you hear what he had told me when he pulled up, that he saw the boys down at the creek down at the bottom, and that he went to the shed to check.
Right.
Summer.
Did you hear that?
The only thing I know is what he told me.
But did you hear his?
I've heard Don say that he.
I mean, did you watch Chris's videos?
No, I've not watched none of Chris's stuff.
I'm sure you've seen clips and people's
Yeah, I've seen
videos
clips
and stuff.
Because
His are the most one of the most used, so I'm sure you have.
I'm just going by what Don had told me,
Yeah,
specifically.
no, that's a good way to go, actually, because you get it right from the horse's mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and plus you're the horse whisperer, so you would.
Because he was talking about
You got it, man. You got it. So.
Because he was talking about he didn't think that the Subaru could actually make it down there, down that backside like that, because he was bragging about the Subaru doing so good at getting down there and stuff. That's more what he was bragging about than anything in the whole story of him talking about.
Wow.
So, and let's go back to your first thought, the accident cover-up. What do you think happened, and how would they have done it?
Well,
Initially, what you initially thought.
Yeah, see, the first day, Don, I didn't know that the circumstances or nothing, or where they had been or swimming or nothing like that until later on that night after Don had done been there and stuff. I didn't learn about all that until later on. Only thing I know was him.
Did they tell you that, or how'd you learn that?
I think it was, I'm trying to think how I learned it. Seemed like it was Jody that was talking about it at first.
Did you watch YouTube at all during those days?
No, not at that time. I didn't for a little bit.
Like, what's a little bit? How long until you started watching YouTube?
I can't really remember.
There was no internet out there, so he hardly ever would see stuff.
I'm going to go ahead and put it out. He started watching YouTube when Ziggy showed up in his driveway and said, I'm making a YouTube. I'm making a video. That's what I'm doing. Then he drives around, he finds some Wi-Fi, and he starts watching it. He has said it before.
But because I remember when I first met you.
I was just thinking.
You heard something.
Yeah, I heard somebody talking about the swimming hole and stuff, and it's supposed to be swimming or whatever. But only thing I was just going off of probably in the accident cover up or something was because this Donna talking like he see her during the resurrection, Then but at that time I figured she was probably deceased, but I didn't know what probably would happen,
But what did you tell me? Like when we first met, what was your theory at that point, which would have been in January of 2022?
I can't remember. We talked about some.
You don't remember your accident cover-up theory? What it was about the water, about the swimming, dry drowning? I think it was drowning or something.
Oh, it wasn't me.
Oh.
No.
Oh, okay. My memory is nowhere near as good as his, Chris. So I thought it was. You said that something about her swimming.
I know.
I was trying.
Greg, I mean, there's so many stories out there, but
Yeah.
And this is really important for understanding how Don and Candace think. I mean, right?
Yeah.
With what you're saying, Fred. I mean, the fact that he even said it on the news within a couple of
Yeah. And see, that's why he was when he said that on the news is because of them done having me to kind of talk to him about who he owed and stuff, And then they finally, I did just come out and say, hey, they don't know you traded her, So
You did say that to him?
that's why he got mad and was saying some of that on the news and stuff about them accusing him of with something, trading her.
Oh,
Do you think he was, victimizing her?
Well, when I've been around them and stuff, Dawn hardly ever even talked to the kids or anything. I mean, sometimes I'd pull up there and talk maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe needing gas or something other. Just
All right, so Chris is asking a very loaded question. Do you think he was victimizing her? You're going to hear some dancing around this question. And I'm going to say right now, before anybody jumps in my ass, I hope 100%, and I don't mean you guys, we just know how some things float around, after show comments and, different channels. I hope that never happened. Never, ever happened. Ellie said Fred had ample access to Wi-Fi and was telling Mom and Julie stuff he was seeing. Shaking my head from the beginning. Talked about pics he was seeing on Facebook and YouTube. So why would you say that if you're not following what's going on? Okay? Why? Why? And here's a question, Ellie, how come Julie doesn't come out and speak for herself? There's some accusations going on about her. Her being, at your parents' house that day, the blue van. I'm not accusing her. Does she just want to stay out of it? Or what's going on there? Because, you've got Horse Whisperer and the Zigster that has all kinds of stuff to say about Fred's family.
stop by, but as far as just being around them and seeing Don's actions towards the kids, Don acted more concerned about the kids and stuff. He didn't act aggressive, no nothing towards them, or I've never even heard him cuss the kids. But now Candace, she's always cussed them and stuff. If they was being rough with an animal, I've seen her pick up sticks and hit them and stuff like that.
Dear God.
But as far as actual witnessing anything.
All right, this is just between us. What would you do if you were at someone's house and you saw a kid getting a whooping with a stick because they were being too rough with an animal? Look, this is not 1975 anymore. We know we're not supposed to beat our children. Or shit. I'm not even going to finish that thought. Look at that Angel P making it rain. What am I going to do with you guys today? All right, turned out I was muted and I was saying some genius stuff. What would you do if you were at someone's house and you saw a little girl getting a whooping with a stick? I wouldn't be real happy, but that's just me.
But see,
Go ahead.
like on the 16th, Don came to my house too during that day. He was wanting to know if I knew how to access the dark web. Was talking about he thought that Summer may be already listed on the dark web at that point. And I'm like, well, if you already think that, you need to be talking to law enforcement about it. Why are you asking me about it?
Because he was trying to see if you probably.
Yeah, because I don't know nothing
He was trying.
about dark web,
He was fishing for info. To
Yeah,
see what
that's
you
what
know.
I feel like now. He was just fishing.
See if you were a pervert like he was. Probably. That's probably what he was fishing for.
But it is. It was just.
Did he think you were a snitch at that point?
Breaking news, Ziggy just had to go pee. I would have probably just excused myself and gone to Tinkle Tinkle and then come back and probably not said another word. Okay. But she made sure Chris and Fred and everyone knows that her bladder's full, or it was in December of 2025.
No, I don't think nobody suspected me of doing anything with law enforcement because I was moving a lot of dope and stuff at that time.
People didn't know you recorded until I put it out
Yeah.
years later.
That was a good cover,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. You know.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I worked narcotics years ago?
No.
You would have been a great CI.
I don't know about that.
I would have put a wire on you, brother. Go in and cop some dope and do a buy walk. You know what a buy walk is?
Kinda, yeah.
That's where the popo sits.
By the way, who am I to talk? Who am I to be the hypocrite? I tell you guys all the time when there's a very long intro or I turn on a news clip, you know I'm going to take a little tinkle tinkle.
Out in a van where I came from in Southern California, we had a lot of volume, right?
Yeah.
So we weren't worried about nickels and dimes and that kind of problem.
Oh, yeah.
We wanted pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you just sit out, you put your CI in with, control by.
Yeah.
And then you do that 4 or 5 times, and then eventually you hit them with a search warrant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what they done to me. They sent a CI and then made them 2 buys off of me. That's how they got me.
Exactly. And so, and then of course, if your CI got in trouble, then you try to figure out how we're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for you, it was probably, hey, we're going to put a wire on you, send you up there. We want you to get them talking. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But it actually wasn't a wire. It was just like some kind of digital recorder that they could hear back and forth with,
Yeah. Did they put it in your pocket?
Yeah, it was just in my pocket, yeah.
And then some stupid light on it came on.
Well, no, it wasn't a light. It wasn't a light at all. It was a laugh.
A laugh, like a
laugh?
ha-ha.
Yeah, a laugh come over it real loud. Just like ha 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 ha.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So do you think it was picking up some kind of frequency?
He had to be. That's what made me mad because I thought that they done something of trying to let Dawn know that we're this. I thought they was messing with both of us at that point, when that happened. And that's why I was trying to play it off like, oh, it was my phone just went off, or something other to Dawn. I pulled my phone out of my pocket. I'm like, you stupid phone, I don't know what's wrong with it, talking. And my blood pressure went through the roof because I was like,
So pissed. I didn't know
I
that.
thought they was trying to warn Dawn that I was recording him and stuff,
Oh man, so at that very moment I would have given you an Oscar.
I was trying to play it off.
And they were listening live, right?
Yeah, they was listening live because as soon as I took and that happened, I pretty much just said another few words and just took back off down the hill, told Dawn I was going to head back towards the house for a while. And then when I started off the hill and about 3/4 way down Dawn's driveway, they're done started up right where that rough spot is there in the driveway. And I'm like, I'm cussing them because I thought they had done something. They're like, well, we heard it too, and it just shut down once it.
I have a feeling there's a lot of people around the area, particularly the hauler, that are related to each other. However, was Leslie, who was in the McDonough interview live from the front porch with Allie and Hunter, you remember, Sandra, is she related to Fred? Because her last name is Hill. I'm not saying it's not a common last name. However, it just seems that we have a lot of coincidences.
They let on like the device to shut off when that happened, and then they said we thought something had happened with you, and then I'm raging at them because I'm thinking they're doing some stupid
I could see you
stuff,
being like,
and
I could see you being like, you stupid MFers, even though you never get mad, but like,
I was
something
mad
like that.
because I thought that they was trying to warn Dawn about something.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And it,
Well, what would they be trying to warn Dawn about? And why would you warn Dawn?
Ones was she watching?
She was just watching. If I can remember it, not.
Never gets old.
Ones was she watching?
She was just watching. If I can remember it, not.
I don't know if it's the Sandra or if it's Chris's face going, hell is going on?
yeah, which makes
he
sense
used to.
because Dawn did too. Dawn's thing too.
Yeah, I mean him and Josh Stedman used to deal a lot in cocaine. Andy and Josh Stedman. And then Andy turned a statement on Josh when Josh got caught with all that stuff.
Well, it's
But
there's
that's
a lot
years
of
ago.
there's a lot floating around
Mm.
for sure. And so Zig, what's your theory? What do you think?
I don't know. It was
And by the way, I've watched a lot of your stuff, so I just kind of stay in the background.
okay.
You know.
Uh,
So I've heard a lot of how you think.
Yeah.
And I know you take a lot of grief from a lot of people, and I'm sorry for that personally, but
Yeah.
What's your first theory that comes to you? And knowing Fred now, obviously your husband and wife, but
I definitely want to hear this. Jay, the Italian cookie, said too many people with their fingers in this case. It all comes down to the parents and Grandis that day. I couldn't agree more. They are definitely in it. And you know, this is something I have never thought about before. So thank you so much, Carly with an I. I wonder what Sandra knows.
Ones was she watching?
She was just watching. If I can remember it, not.
Chris needs to go talk to Sandra.
and I, you know, what give me the Reader's Digest version of what you feel.
Well, until when this lady contacted him recently, now I'm starting to be like, well, could it be a revenge thing? Who are these people that were broke down on the side of the road, you know? But I always thought I think that especially the last couple of years, it kind of just clicked with me. I was like, yeah, Jody Sue's son has to be involved because it took me, I felt like it was I had a woman who came to me, it was before all this, and it actually matches what this guy said. And she claimed to have a friend who knew this, but she mentioned Playboy. That's when the first time Playboy came up. It wasn't DJ Smith that first mentioned Playboy. It was a woman I interviewed who claimed, and I think she was possibly talking about Brianna Tester, but I'm not, and who's ended up dead now. I think that's all tied into this whole drug.
Oh, Ziggy. Truer words have never been spoken. This case is dripping with rugs. You can't tell me that Candace and Brianna Tester, and I did a whole show about Brianna Tester. I'll put the playlist in, or I'll find the show so you guys can rewatch it. You just cannot tell me that they just happen to be Facebook friends. New. Because we know why Brianna Tester. We know what happened. Exactly, Ange. Rugs and RSOs. What to do?
I think, yeah, I think a lot of them, there's a sex trafficking ring probably. But gosh, this revenge thing, I don't know. I go back and forth between the revenge and the
So
trafficking. But
do you think Don
If the revenge thing happened,
would have
Don
sex
would
trafficked
be
her
free.
for the debt?
Yeah, I do think that he was gonna try to make. I believe that he was. I've always felt like Candace thought that they were gonna get Summer back. I really think she believed that at first, and that's why I think she was so calm. I think that she was under the impression that they were gonna get her back. I don't even know if Candace knew at the time exactly. She could have been completely in the dark at first. She knows now for sure, but yeah. I think there's definitely there is very deeply ingrained some kind of sex trafficking like SA, and there's a lot of people trying to cover it up because it's not just the crime that happened this summer. There's all before that, I believe there was a bunch of like SA stuff and that a lot of people are trying to cover up that kind of ties into Summerwell's case. And a lot of people don't want that to come out into light because if Summer gets solved, then it's going to bring out this trafficking ring, and a lot of people are going to go down. That's what that's probably the most likely.
What do you think the connection is with the most recent search to Van Hill?
Well, the only thing I can think of, it makes me really. I think it's Andy or.
Oh my gosh, we're always back on Andy. We're always back on that side of the family. We're always after that cousin. Always after that cousin. The protection that goes on around Dawn and Candace and Grandis makes me throw up in my mouth. But you know what doesn't? Look who's back. The Walking Dead. Look at her. Everyone, welcome her back.
Or possibly see Fred's sister used to be pretty close to the one and to Paul, and used to be pretty close to Paul. We don't know if she still is because, I mean, she's a very horrible person. They called her the white devil in prison. She's definitely. I feel like she's probably part of this whole group that's trying to keep it secret, and. His
sister?
Yes.
His sister?
Yeah, because
What's her name?
Her name's Karen. Karen Hill or Karen Elliott.
Karen Hill or Karen Elliott?
Yeah, and she had a son, and she has a son named she has two sons, but what's the one that she got in trouble with? Cody. Her and Cody, her own son, were doing this little scheme, like breaking into neighborhood, like the houses in this neighborhood. And the police were getting onto him they broke it.
What she would do, she would sit and watch the whole neighborhood and document when this one's leaving, that one's.
Hold on. The police were getting on to Karen and her son for breaking into homes? They do not get on to you when you break into a home, even in Oklahoma. They're going to arrest you. My goodness. What the hell is that about? So the police would get onto him? Seems like we're overlapping stories. She's been told things by Fred and she's trying to repeat them. She can't remember them because they were never told to her. I get it. I see what's going on.
Was leaving when they was returning and stuff. Then she would send her son to rob them while they was gone.
But there was that incident that somebody was home when they weren't supposed to be.
There was two twins that she didn't know about. She's seeing that one leave and didn't know about the other one being there.
And they moved and they beat him so bad, like Fred doesn't know how that person is today, but like they beat him so bad they moved the crime scene to. So what Karen did is
they took the crime scene from his house to their house and staged it like he tried to break in there and stuff. And she had Cody to cut her up and stuff and kick her down some stairs and all kinds of stuff, which she got charged with all of that.
Yeah, and then like she set up that whole, had people go in there when Fred was in jail. Like she was trying to make sure Fred didn't get out of jail. She was very worried about Fred getting out of jail. She also, without Fred's other sister and Fred knowing, filed some fraudulent document, which I don't even know how to move forward with it.
Bad background because she killed her first husband for $375,000.
And well, she didn't get in trouble for it, but but
she done an insurance policy on him.
Yes.
And got by with that crime.
Fred really believes that that's what she did, because even she had another husband just end up dead because he was threatening to turn her in.
On what? She had told him how she had killed Jason and stuff.
And then Fred found, you found all that stuff at the house at 165.
Yeah.
Okay, Fred's sister is in here right now saying these are all lies. Okay? She's not a murderer. And she said, I don't even know what he's talking about. That's completely fabricated. Now, his sister's at work, and I don't know what Fred's doing. Okay?
She got out of prison stuff at her mom and dad had passed away.
Which that was in 2020. Okay, she got out of prison in 2020, just a year before Summer goes missing, by the way. She was dating one of Dawn's friends at the time.
But anyway, there's a pocketbook in there that had a lot of Guatemala ties, a lot of green dot cards, a lot of receipts with Guatemala, big amounts of money and stuff transferred and stuff. Then it had like a wig in it and some gloves and some pantyhose and something else. I was trying to think what it was. Some sunglasses and something. It was just weird the way that bag was set up.
Where is she at now?
I'm not for sure. She's still around Kingsport, I think.
Well, she's over at Six Ups Live every night, pretty much as a main guest to try to destroy Fred's. Make Fred's never had. He's the most.
Okay, Ellie said, I got out of prison in August of 2018. I don't need to know what that's about. Not my business. Nothing like that. Only one person has ever, well, 3, have been nailed to the cross. So give yourself a break, Ellie. Okay? These things have got to be inflammatory to hear.
Polite, like most respectful man I've ever been around. Never once made me feel uncomfortable, even when he was using. Never came on to me. Never said anything out of the way. And she is trying to paint him like he is like a sexual pervert, and he's never had any type of history of that, and nobody's ever. But she's trying to paint that like he's like some kind of peeper and all this. Like she's really trying
like
hard.
Jody was trying to paint me as,
Yeah. And because I think that they're really afraid of, it's gotten scary. Like I've actually.
Well, a lot of them I know about a lot of other crimes around the area. And I think a lot of them's worried about what may come out later on about other crimes, which Hawkins County, they've got potential of solving 5 murders if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think that Dawn, is there any way Dawn's not?
Okay, just want to remind everybody that this is about the conversation between Fred and Chris. That's all I'm going to say right now. And I understand how conversation goes. It can go from the weather to traffic to what did you have to eat last night. And, well, I went out to eat. Oh, have you ever ate at that restaurant? I get it. But when there's real life people in chat, I think it'd be better to just not accuse them of anything.
Involved in this?
The only way I could figure he wouldn't be involved if it was a revenge type over a motorcycle.
Well, yeah.
Over a
And then
motorcycle?
Yeah, that motorcycle.
That motorcycle that I found broke down on side of Beach Creek on the 15th.
Right. With the guy?
Yeah. See, he had told the woman and man that was there trying to help him at their driveway that he had recovered it from Ben Hill Road.
Is what she told you?
Yeah, is what she told me. But he told me he just recovered it on Beach Creek, but he didn't say exactly where when he told me. But the way he talked about it, that motorcycle being like his baby girl and stuff. And then he said something about wondering how they like it if something about their baby girl or something. That's what made me kind of think maybe it could have been a revenge type.
And there was, you knew about the family disputes between the Wells, the Lights, and the Clarks. Huh?
He didn't mention nothing about that.
No. But after the fact, there was something going. The reason why I bring it up is because when you stopped him, you thought that guy was somebody you knew you thought it was a Light, the last name Light. You thought it was J.R. Light or something, right? And so later on you heard, who was it that was talking about there was some
Roy Light, Frank Light's brother, was one that was talking about that Frank Light and Pete Clark and Don Wells was into it. So I don't know what the deal was with that, but
that was after summer.
Yeah, that was after summer had went missing.
So
but see, they try to say that Candace was on Light Holler around 4:30, which I didn't see her when I went in Light Holler and back out and picked that, then went back to Ben Hill and all the way back out to that driveway past Light Holler. I didn't see her on the road or nothing during that time, but they tried to say that she was on Light Holler at 4:30, but I didn't see her nowhere.
I wrote down notes to make sure see if there's anything I want you to know before you go, because I think you did pretty well. Chris, I should have just left you talk, but I'm so worried about missing a detail, that's so important. And there's still, I'm sure, tons more that.
But see, only.
No, I mean, we've got each other's numbers now.
I'll have to give you Fred's direct number that you guys can, even though I don't think he's talked to on the phone once on his phone number, but I can give it. You can talk to him directly. It doesn't have to go through me or anything. I just he's just very, very to himself. He's not wanting all that attention and stuff. And Fred's just.
I constantly, as you all know, and meaning you can tell, I'm not convinced that Dawn is not involved in any way. There's something there. I can't put my finger on it yet. Jody Sue's never fooled me.
Mm-hmm.
I pretend like she has.
Right.
But I heard the rumor about the truck too, and maybe her mom, Andy's mom, was driving, or somebody was driving, and tonight's the first night I heard that maybe Damien was driving, but there's just so much.
Yeah, see, it was on
information.
Yeah.
See, that was.
Okay, so in a nutshell, Chris said he's not going to get it out of his mind that Dawn is somehow involved. He did not elaborate. He said Jody Sue has never fooled him, even though he lets her believe she has. So interesting, since they keep saying Andy was on the road. Andy was on the road. Was it Damien on the road in Andy's car? We have never once heard what Andy drove to work. We know that his employer spoke to another creator, in air quotes, saying, I've already given his time cards over. He was here. He was here. Not accusing Damien, but I go right back to what the hell was Candace doing all day? Why were they not complying with CPS? Hell, they'll move beds around and stuff like that. They'll do that. Something set them off on the 14th.
Recorded on the 15th, the evening of the 15th, her talking about the red truck and stuff, which was odd before it ever come out on the news or anything like that. She was done talking about a red truck and how they gonna find it without the ladder the ladder rack on it and stuff.
Yeah, but who? You see, that's what's interesting about this is because who actually introduces the red truck to the conversation?
See, I don't know.
Right?
I don't know who actually introduced it. They try to say it was a delivery driver that introduced it, is what people said on YouTube. But as far as law enforcement, I've not really heard them actually say who introduced that truck.
And why haven't they put a bolo out for this blue truck that they acted like they really wanted to know who was driving that? That's the only thing that Pruitt was asking us about when he, out of that whole email I sent him, and I can send you the email so you could see what I sent, and that was the only thing.
But see, Ed Redmond's place, the place,
Ed Redmond's another sus one that's probably in this ring. Okay.
But the only camera I could see, my cameras, the way they was pointed, they were just sitting on the side and they just taking like a side view of a vehicle. He wasn't never catch their tag number or nothing. But at Ed Redmond's property, at the end of Ben Hill Road, he's got a camera on the front side where you pull in to turn. He's got a camera where it would catch the tag number on either end of the vehicle. I just wonder if he turned any of his footage in to law enforcement.
I don't know. He seemed to be really bothered by law enforcement. Well, one time when I first went out there.
Yeah, he didn't like law enforcement being around at all because he got mad because they came up there like 11:30 at night and made him.
Amalu, you read my mind. Why would Jody's son be spying out in the woods to figure out what's going on at the Wells home? We already knew they were in deep doo-doo with CPS. We've seen pictures of Summer up on the roof. We're hearing one thing after another. None of it makes any sense. I'm still going back to the fact that CPS was hot on their tails, and we know that for a fact. We know that for a fact because 3 boys were taken.
Walking back to that waterfall back there behind his house and stuff. He got mad about that.
Well, yeah, and I'm just wondering if, Don was even at work that day.
Right.
There's so many rumors.
Well, I mean, by him leaving that with the boys, he had to take and come back at one point to bring the boys back or something.
Right, because you saw him in the morning. That's what's really curious.
So he's had to come back at one point to take and bring the boys back.
Well, exactly, and now that puts him back at the property. And here's something that has always never sat right with me. When I went down into the basement there, right, at their house, I just couldn't wrap my mind around a 5-year-old little girl going down there by herself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so dark and it's scary.
Have you been in there before, Fred?
No, I've seen in the basement that time that I called CPS on
tell me about
the boys being in the basement alone.
Yeah, that was how long, or when was that?
That was the first time I was ever up there at the Wellses. It was a snow on and stuff, and it was the 3 boys was.
Or 2 boys, or was it 3 or 2?
I was thinking it was 3 in the basement. And they were, at that time, when the reason I went down there, that was when a guy named Andy Powell was living at the shed and had that camper and stuff down there. I learned that his last name is Morgan now, Andy Powell Morgan. But anyway, Don was out of town and stuff at that time, evidently, from the way I understood it. Once I did get up with Andy and raise hell about him pulling the fence and stuff out. What it was, there's a tree that fell right there at 167 property, and it was real close. It wasn't in the road, but it was close to the road, and there's snow on. So I guess he was trying to get firewood for Candace or whatever. So he hooked the chain to it, and when he pulled it back down the holler where the fence was hooked to it, he drug all of our electric fence and stuff out with it. And that's what I was aggravated about. It wasn't a tree that he got. It was that he tore all the fence and stuff out doing it.
Yeah.
And then I took into the snow was on, so I just followed where he had drug it, and he had drug it up to right there at the bottom of the basement at the Wells's. Well, I pull up on top of the hill and knock on the door. That's before they built that addition on and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody would come to the door, so I thought, well, maybe they're in the basement. So I'll go down there and knock on the door, and they didn't have no curtain or nothing up over that window of the door, and you could see in, and you could see the boys in there, and they just had one mattress laid down in the floor, and the boys just had a diaper on, and then they had a wood stove sitting there and had a fire in it. Then that's the only thing you could see in there was just that stove and the mattress and the boys. But they kept looking up like somebody was upstairs, you see, but nobody would come to the door. And I called CPS on them over that, them boys being in the basement by themselves and nobody come to the door.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
If anyone wants to do a deep dive from the very beginning, I mean I can't say the minute, from June 16th to today, there is the playlist. Now, it is a lot, and you're going to hear a lot. You're going to learn a lot, okay? For sure.
We talked to, or Jason Jensen, we talked to him too a couple hours. He talked to Fred a couple hours ago, or a couple hours, and that was after the.
And he was
the way he talked, it didn't sound like it. He's trying to take ownership and like it was him, but he's too Hollywood. He's trying to get attention. Well, I wouldn't put too much that was his tip. Because the way he talked, he didn't seem to act like, because he said even he told us that he was surprised to hear the hill name as well.
Yeah.
He wouldn't tell us anything, but I could tell by the way he was talking. He did not.
He turned in was or people, not a place.
Yeah, I go, can I ask you, was the tip that you turned in, did it have to do with like that location, or he goes, it was people? And in the way he said he was surprised to hear the hill name, tells me it wasn't somebody with a hill, which is even more weird. If that was his tip, that's what I'm saying. He didn't. Yeah. I know he's taking ownership for it and trying to say act like it was his tip, but. And something to do with the red truck, like there was a red truck found, or.
But see, Don got his DUI right there next to that place too, within 2 miles of it.
And then
Don crashed that Subaru out trying to run over Candace, supposedly at
Paul Hill's driveway.
Said that Powell actually took him home. And
a lot of chaos, a lot of information. Okay, a lot of chaos, a lot of information. So you crashed in front of the Van Hill property. TBI is investigating the Van Hill property. Is this a coincidence or is it evidence? And what the hell was Dawn doing trying to run Candace over in the Subaru in front of Paul Hill's driveway? And does anyone have a video of it? Because I would binge watch that shit for a while. Those two are crazier than shithouse rats.
Stuff after they wrecked and stuff. Don wrecked that
So
night.
that's the only thing, Chris, that we can think of, directly ties Don to it is when he wrecked the Subaru, supposedly wrecked the Subaru, which is, I don't know, when was that would have had to been within the year.
Well, that was
So help me understand that this private investigator talked to you, Fred?
yeah.
Yeah, because I asked him, or how was it? How did I'm trying to remember, my memory's so bad. How did I tried to get a hold of him, and because he was putting out his phone number, he would put out his phone number, and I thought he was trying to ignore me, but he claims he didn't see it. I'm trying to think where I saw him, and I asked him he goes to talk to Fred. Oh, I texted him. I decided to text him again after the search. And when the Hill name came up, I thought, well, maybe he'll talk now. Maybe Jason will talk to you now. And that's when he did suddenly respond.
How does he make a connection to the property?
He didn't tell us. He asked a lot of questions like you and didn't give us very much info. We just had to read between the lines, I didn't ask him, I just said, hey, I asked him, I know.
Okay. Chris isn't going to entertain a private investigator on the internet. He might be curious. He will play along. A-okay by me. I mean, they say no news is good news, but when it comes to things like this, my goodness. You can't just read between the lines. We're waiting for evidence and arrests.
Oh, I'm not going to try to ask you a bunch of questions about your tip or anything. Of course, even though I was curious, but I said, can you just tell me this? Was it something?
But he talked like it was what was it, a home invasion or something?
Yeah, he doesn't think, he says that
abduction or something.
Yeah, he's on point. He thinks, he's sitting there saying that, and that's another thing. He wants to believe the parents are involved, and that makes us suspicious. He tries to act like the parents are not involved, and we just can't, he wanted to do a panel with us. Yeah, he wanted to do a panel. He was all on board doing a panel and with me and Fred and Sweet Pie Low and maybe Donna Serafina. And then when he found out, that we obviously, I was like, well, just so you know, and then all of us believe the parents are involved, and just want to let you know that, because if you come up on panel and you're shocked that we're sitting here talking about the parents. Yeah, ever since then, he hasn't asked about coming on panel or doing anything, but yeah, I don't know.
He tried to say a home invasion turned into abduction, what his theory was.
You didn't tell him about all this Kentucky stuff, this Dennis Smith, did you by chance?
No. I didn't tell him
didn't bring up the
nothing
Knoxville
about
stuff?
No, not to him, I didn't.
No. Chris said Kentucky. The Kentucky stuff. Okay. Hence why I believe that the behavioral panel brought up the cornbread mafia to Candace. Not because they believe it, they were looking for her reaction, assuming that she understands what that is. Now, if I remember correctly, they were a bunch of pot farmers that got pardoned by President Obama. So be it. However, if Dennis Smith is who Fred is talking about, he lives not far from Horse Cave, Kentucky. Those caves go down to basically the core of the earth. Okay?
Or Knoxville, Knoxville.
No.
We didn't?
I don't think we did.
I mean, I could probably send you the call. I could send you the call, Chris.
Messages out on Randy Hill, Frankie Hill, I know your brother or something, trying to turn him in.
What was that again?
What's all that about?
Oh, yeah. You mean his post about your brother? That was Jason Jensen posting about.
Yeah, somebody. I think Josh Diaz told me that
Yeah.
Jensen had put something out about that.
Yeah, he was like, and this was right around the time that Marlena Crawford, which of course we also think Marlena Crawford's and probably part of this whole.
Well, see, just like on the 15th.
That's another thing too, Marlena Crawford.
I was told by Chad Arnold that Grandis brought her and Marlena and Journey to their driveway roughly 7:30 on the 15th and dropped them out.
Because Chad Arnold, by the way, is this childhood sweetheart of the person who has custody of
Journey
now, which is Frances Dykes. She's not with Chad Arnold anymore, but they still are good friends because he can't get off the drugs and she supposedly has a good life, but she is a sister of Marlena Crawford, a half sister. And she's always taken care of Journey, basically.
She's always took care of Journey.
And she even told Fred that tell her what she told you, that every time like Journey would go to Marlena's.
Every time she would go with Marlena.
Okay. My understanding is, and I'm not going to trust Chad Arnold on this. Ooh, is that Grandis took Journey back on the 12th of June. Something happened up on the property. What happened, I don't know. No idea. Marlena has never explained it, and I'm afraid I don't want to know. I'm assuming I don't want to know. I don't want to hear any more nastiness. Someone rang the bell to CPS, and it wasn't about dogs and BB guns. CPS shows up on the 14th. Candace makes a lot of plans for the 15th, and Summer goes missing.
Not well. Who knows? Like how they.
If he's involved, well, what did he do with her when Fred drove by and saw it?
Yeah. Because, I mean, they was in that gold Lexus, but they had the trunk of the Lexus open and stuff, and I didn't see nothing in the back.
Oh, you saw the trunk open?
Yeah, I seen the trunk open because they was looking for a relay.
Yeah.
To try to put on that bike.
But would Summer have been gone at that time?
Well, that was about
probably, even though they were
4:30 when that was. So
unless she went missing.
He's not even in the area at that time. I mean, he's in the area, but he's not on the property.
Yeah.
Who?
Early in the morning.
Who's he talking about? Dawn? Are you talking about Dawn?
Confused,
I know, I'm more confused too. More confused.
Well, Dawn. You see Dawn at the end of the driveway coming down Ben Hill, right, Fred?
Yeah, off his driveway.
And you estimated that's around 8:30 in the morning. Either way, it's early in the morning and the three boys are with Dawn.
Yeah.
But
I know it was the oldest boy that was sitting on the passenger side, and they was two in the back. I'm assuming that they was the other two boys.
Okay.
But confirm whether they was 100% the other two boys, I don't know. But I do know that the oldest son was in the front passenger side.
So it could have been Summer in the back, right? Because her head was shaved. Maybe, possibly.
Is that possible, Fred, that it could have been Summer in the back too?
It could have possibly been. I mean, but I just seen, I assumed was the two other boys, but
at the time you didn't.
FBI, have you ever been interviewed by the FBI?
No.
Okay. What is one thing you've told them that you've not told anybody else? But I'm going to ask you that question.
Like not even me? Gosh.
I've told them everything.
He's probably told you, but what is something? But by the way, again, I'm not gonna jump on YouTube and play any of this. I don't do that.
What's
now there? I wait for confirmation on information.
We want you to do what will get Summer home, whether that's put it on you, whatever you want to do, because the truth is the truth and it doesn't matter. This is the truth, and it, we're going to be able to, just like Fred's always says, I'm going to be able to stand proud, and when the truth comes out, all these other people. So when you're
Right.
speaking of
And
truth, it doesn't matter.
I get that piece of it, Dick. We right. I get that. I understand that. I'm trying to understand, about how Summer Wells just disappeared from that piece of property.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when this is all over, towards the end here, when people are in jail, I'll be one of the first ones to come out when Fred's not in jail to say, hey, guess what? You're all wrong.
Oh, okay. Hey, tell them about the picture that Lawson took with you.
I don't think the newlyweds caught what Chris said. Do you want me to replay it? I'll be the first one to come out and take up for Fred when he's not in jail. And it went right over someone's head, and now they're talking about a picture that Ronnie Lawson took with Fred.
With the I really do think that they're into, some dark stuff, but that's a whole other thing too.
I didn't even know that Jody and Andy had that daughter until I don't know, 6 months to a year or something before someone went missing.
Fred, did you ever see that blue couch at the house up there?
No.
Wait.
I've just only been inside one time up there.
You went inside?
Okay.
Yeah, I was, I don't know, that's when that boy wrecked that white truck off down there in the snow when we went up there to see if Dawn would pull it out that time.
Like you walked through the place, or were you?
No, we just stepped inside the door right there, so trying to wait on Dawn.
I was in there, and I was.
Why would Candace say that the boy said she went down in the basement?
I don't know. I just like she wants to say, "Oh, I walked Summer to the door and stuff." I just don't see her even walking Summer nowhere. She just told her to go on or whatever way I would have seen it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what's so weird about this thing, where, why would? What did you say that the PI said, Ziggy, that he thought it was an interrupted burglary?
Well, I don't remember him saying.
It was burglary turned deduction. What he said, what he thought.
He's like, he goes, all these people, he started talking. He goes, all these people go attacking the parents, and he's like, and then he starts bringing up.
Jason Jensen was on this show. I can find it. If you want it, I will send it to you. And he described his theory. Has he been at Ben Hill Road? No, he confirmed that. It is his theory.
John Bonet is saying, even those parents, those poor parents, and then he's comparing them. I'm like, I'm telling you, Don and Candace are not these parents. Don and Candace are not, And he's from over there at Utah too, so it just makes me, I don't know. I'm like, he was a nice guy.
Who would break into that? Who would want to steal anything from that?
Right.
They ain't nobody going to.
But see, Brandon Clark was real bad about, like.
That's the only thing with maybe what I was saying about that motorcycle. See, there's certain ones in that area that is bad to steal stuff and put stuff on other people's property.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And then it just makes me wonder if he may have put that bike in Don's shed, and then that boy found it on Don's property, and then done a revenge towards Don, thinking it was Don.
But then how's that play into Andy, and why was Andy on the road? See, I always go there. It's like, why was Andy on the road? We know Andy was on the road for a fact. That's what we know, that nobody, I mean, I didn't see myself, but I know because I know Fred, and he's never even told me a little white lie ever in all the years I've known him that I've caught him in. I used to catch my ex in a lie every day. So.
Well, first of all, why would you be up on the property to steal something, and then all of a sudden decide, you know what, here's a 5-year-old girl, I'm going to steal her instead?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was talking like that guy was talking about that bike being like his little girl, you know?
Yeah, and then said something about how would they like it
yeah,
in
but
third,
still,
about their
he
little girl.
didn't have the little girl when Fred saw it.
No,
Mm,
not unless they
So
come back
that
or
doesn't
something.
make sense.
not well. Who knows?
You know,
Like
if
how
he's
they.
involved, if he's involved, well, what did he do with her when Fred drove by and saw it?
Yeah. Because I mean, they
you
was in
can't
that gold
just take a
Lexus, but they had the
5-year-old.
trunk of the Lexus open and stuff, and I didn't see nothing in the back
Oh, you saw
of
the
it.
trunk open?
Yeah, I seen the trunk open when because they was looking for a relay to
Yeah.
try to put on that bike.
But
and
Summer,
stuff.
would Summer have been gone at that time?
Well, that was about
Probably, even though they were,
4:30 when that was. So
unless she went
So
missing.
he's not even in the area at that time. I mean, he's in the area, but he's not on the property.
yeah,
Early in the morning.
Who's he talking about? Dawn? Are you talking about
I'm
Dawn?
confused. I see.
I know, I'm more confused too. More confused.
Well,
Yeah.
Don, you see Don at the end of the driveway
Yeah.
coming down
Yeah,
Van Hill, right, Fred?
yeah. Off of his driveway.
And you estimated that's around 8:30 in the morning. Either way,
Yeah,
it's early in the morning, and the three boys are with Don.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
Okay.
I know it was the oldest boy that was sitting on the passenger side, and they was two in the back. I'm assuming that they was the other two boys,
Okay.
but confirm whether they was
Summer.
100% the other two boys. I don't know, but I do know that the oldest son was in the front passenger side.
so it
seat.
could have been Summer, Summer in the back, right?
No. 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 And why Dawn loaded up the three boys and left them in the Subaru to talk to Fred, I'll never understand.
Back in December.
And then when the other,
But far as working with him during the Summer Wells case, I mean, from get-go and stuff, Pruitt didn't come into Summer Wells case right off the rip.
but in 2023, when he went to jail, he was there for when you
Yeah, the only thing that
tell him about
time,
Now, this is odd to me that Fred would say that Detective Pruitt wasn't on the case right from the jump. Okay. Reason I'm saying that is because there's a picture of him talking to the three boys, and the oldest boy is holding a football. Pruitt was there as they were getting people to bring drones, dogs, I mean, all kinds of stuff. Pruitt was there. We have seen it on WJHL. It's impossible to miss his mug and his snarkiness.
the weird information about Cotton Simpson. So Fred's the one that brought up that name Cotton Simpson. So there's that other situation too. That's another big thing.
but see, it just,
Did they contact you in the jail, Fred?
yeah, they would pull me out of the cell and stuff and out my pod, and I talked to them a lot about things.
Right.
Mhm.
While you were locked up?
Yeah,
And did they mention anything about, they didn't believe you or anything like that? Did that ever come up in a conversation?
no, they've never acted like. I've always, every statement that they took from me, I've signed and they've signed and stuff, and
They asked you if you would testify.
Yeah.
yeah, they always
would
say,
you-
"Will you
did they
testify this
ask you if you
statement in court or
testified?
whatever?" Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we want to keep that under the hat right now, right? We
Yeah.
don't want that floating around out there.
Yeah.
Because, just.
Well, you would want to keep all of that under the hat until someone put this whole phone call out.
Yeah, every statement that they've took from me and stuff, I've signed and they've signed and stuff. It's signed off on it, or not signed off on it, but what I mean.
Have you heard about Cotton Simpson, Chris? That name?
Who's that, Sid? Who's that?
See,
He's a meth cook.
he's a meth cook and
He
stuff
was.
from the area.
He passed away
He's
after.
passed away now and stuff. But see, was in jail and stuff, and then he got out, and his cousin introduced him to me. He came to try to buy a boat that I had, and I didn't want to sell it and stuff at the time. And then the next time he came was like 6 months or something later, and he was talking about he had been on the hill on the 15th and sleeping with mother and daughter. It was this weird way he was saying stuff, talking about sleeping with mother and daughter and stuff. And then he's talking about once they did find Summer, they would know exactly who done it and stuff. And he talked like she was possibly in a cave and stuff. And then when they actually find him dead and stuff, he's within 60 foot of a cave on Law Run Park and all that.
And that's what you were taught. You went to him.
Yeah, I went to the law enforcement and I had thought about that, you see, and was trying to tell him about that. And then I knew that.
Okay, what's really interesting about this phrasing of conversation is that Fred was pulled out of his cell. He calls it a pod. I guess it's to make inmates feel better. It's a cell. It's a jail cell. And he had been talking to other people that are in the jail. And they said, you know things about Cotton Simpson's death that only we know. Things that have never been reported. They're not on social media. So do you know, or did you hear it from one of your circle of friends? And he took a polygraph test. Now, he said he passed. He put it up like a first grader's report card. He was very proud of himself. Very proud of himself. I know a lot of people say that Ziggy is playing double agent and she believes that, she might be sleeping with the enemy. I don't know. I'm not in that circle. Don't know. Thank you for catching that, ICU. Anyone catch him saying he hasn't really been around Dawn and Candace, yet he mentioned being up there 3 or 4 times. Probably in a damn day.
He had a gash in the back of his head. That's why they done a lie detector on me to make sure that I didn't have nothing to do with it. But see, only way I found out about even him passing away was through Marvin Simpson and Haskell Rhines. They had pulled up, which Marvin's one that actually introduced him to me. And they pulled up and asked me if I'd heard about Cotton. I said, no, what's up? And they said, well, they found him dead over bluff over there. And they said that they found him 60 foot from the cave. And Marvin's like, remember, he was talking about a cave that they probably find Summer in. He said, makes me wonder if he was trying to go down there and maybe fell or something. But Marvin was talked about Betty Joe telling him that Cotton had a gash in the back of his head, and see where that hadn't never been released from out to the media or anything. And then me knowing that specific detail, then they took and thought maybe I had something to do with Cotton's death, you see.
Well, you were turning in information.
But I was just trying to turn in information and stuff, you see, about what Cotton had said about being there.
Do you think that they thought you really had something to do with it, or they were just
I don't know what
because
they
you went
thought,
with it.
but
Do you know if Candace or Dawn?
What do you mean you don't know? They pulled you out of your jail cell. They told you you know things that only is in the case file and gave you a polygraph. Ellie's saying Laura told Fred about Cotton. Laura told him. My goodness.
It passed any of the polygraph tests? They ever talk about that?
I've never heard them speak on it, so I don't know.
What's the
You
weirdest
you would
thing
think if they did, they would be posting it, you know.
They would be what?
I said you would think if they had passed it, they would try to post it online or something just to try to make herself look
They didn't give
better.
us the results to yours. We've been trying to get yours, and for some reason, even though his case was ruled an accident,
Yeah.
they still were trying to. Don B was trying to get the results to that because we're tired of people trying to accuse him now of Cotton's death because that's another one, and so we tried to get that polygraph and they won't release it, so it makes us, is it related to Summer Wells?
Because there was one question on it that was asking, I was trying to think how it was, something about Cotton and Summer was one question that was asked on it.
Like, did you?
Did they give you the results?
No.
Well, they give me the woman that done the.
Okay, so Don B's trying to get the polygraph. Somebody put something up that looked somewhat official, but I guess it's not. Who knows? Who knows? And Ellie said the poly states that Fred had knowledge of the death scene, not the gash in his head. Thank you so much.
Polygraph that day, she told me, she said, listen, I'm going to have to put, I'm trying to think what the name of it is.
No opinion?
Yeah, on it before, and I'm going to send it. She made me give her address to send that copy too. And then she had to send the other to Nashville for there's 3 or 4 other people had to read it to actually put actual results on it.
So she had told
and
him
she
that
told me it would take $40 to get that copy, but
yeah.
we've been trying to get it but can't get it so far.
Yeah, and they wouldn't take Cotton seriously because supposedly he claimed he tried to talk to law enforcement too, right?
Yeah, he tried to talk to law enforcement because he was trying to collect the reward money is what he told me, and said they wouldn't take him serious. But see, Cotton had a lot of brain traumas and stuff and a lot of brain surgeries, and he was incompetent and because his sister was over him and everything. And a lot of time they won't take people serious like that.
Yeah. He was,
even their statement in court can't stand up, from what I understand, if they're incompetent.
Okay. Well, let's
yeah.
Now that we have contact here, let's stay in contact and let's see if we can make some sense out of some of the stuff coming forward here with her case, because and you've got my phone number. Just shoot me. I use a Google Voice number, so you can just hit me anytime on that.
Okay.
And it will forward it right to me, so it's not a problem. And then, if something else comes up that I forgot to ask you, or we can figure something else out in terms of conversation. A lot of times, with the Cold Case Foundation, we do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and we kind of like it like that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's
and
the
then
best.
I just have the YouTube channel because we use it as a platform for families and victims, and every once in a while I like stirring the pot with Don Wells.
That's what I'm saying. If you need us to, what you tell us, if you need us.
Reading is essential. So is listening. So when you have someone with the knowledge of Chris McDonough talking to you, the best thing to do is just let him talk. He just said, I have a YouTube channel, and sometimes I like to stir the pot with Don Wells. Pearl Zixter just jumped right over that. Right over that. And if it's only $40 to get the polygraph results, I really don't know where the $40 comes from. Pay them. It's 220s. There you go. It's 220s. But you skip right over what a homicide detective said. I have a YouTube channel and I use it to sometimes stir the pot on Dawn. On Dawn. Now, while all of this is very, very interesting information, we know who Chris is laser focused on.
So be quiet about something if you're going to put something out just to see react. Yeah, I mean, you're the expert in that. So I'm not going to put out anything or anything like that. Because I want this solved. I just want this over with. We're tired of Fred being used as a scapegoat for every freaking thing.
Yeah, I
that
can't
comes
wait
up.
till it's solved.
Well, and that's what I appreciate you saying that, Ziggy, and I understand you guys, and I can only imagine how frustrated you must feel, and I'm so sorry, personally that you're even having to experience any of that. I believe when I was down at the water hole with Candace, when I first met her, that she wanted to tell, I think, much more than she shared, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I think I saw that.
And I understood that, right? As you did, right? As we all did. And, it's hard to tell the truth sometimes for people, and we get that. But it's just a matter of being patient, and eventually something will present itself that is going to bust this thing wide open. Yeah. I think the search up there on Van Hill right now, I don't know if that's connected. And if you're telling me it came from that private investigator, Jensen, then I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, he's trying to take credit for it, but whether it did or not, we don't know.
He's awesome. He's very, very, I call him Hollywood. He's very Hollywood. So it's kind of hard to tell if he's a nice guy and everything. It's just that he's going to go with, I think he's trying to build his, he is a respected, they use him on those, on Court TV. And I don't know if it's Court TV, like he you and stuff.
Court TV the other night.
Yeah, Newsnate, he's on those and stuff. So they must, I guess if he's trusted enough for them, we thought it was worth, talking to him, but he's not licensed in Tennessee, he said, so he can't work, he's not allowed to work the case. So he kept, trying to act like it was just a conversation we were having, but yeah, I don't know if he was asking questions too. It's like, well, I don't know. He just didn't seem to really know about that tip, but maybe he's just really, really good at, no.
And stuff about
that call.
Yeah, about him being on the road, supposedly, or something.
Because
But
yeah,
I don't know. Pruitt tell a lot of people just whatever they want to hear.
Even Andy called Pruitt himself and was like, my cousin's saying I was on the road, basically trying to act like he didn't ask him what it was weird. He's like, do you guys need me for anything? My cousin keeps saying I was on the road. He put that call out, okay, with Pruitt. And Pruitt's like, basically it was like, oh, I wouldn't listen to Fred Hill, basically type. But we talked to Pruitt like a year ago. He even said, I put the call out, but I put it out months after it happened. And I was so upset about that call because he actually hung up on me because I kept going like,
it was almost like he said too much and then just ended it.
Yeah, I know there's a gag order. I kept questioning him about Andy. Why Andy knows what happened. I'm like, Andy knows who were driving that truck. Why don't you ask them? He was following them. Like, I got frustrated a little bit because like he wasn't at all focused on, I don't know.
If he had no questions for you, then there's no questions, and he knows that you aren't part of the case. Some people get irritated, especially in law enforcement, when you try to tell them their job.
And it's just all weird.
Yeah. And law enforcement will lie to you, right? And like, but if what will benefit them. So he could have just been like, when he was talking to Andy, trying to make him feel comfortable because he was like, "Oh, we don't need you're fine," trying to make him feel like at ease.
Well, a lot of time they will like that.
Why would they want to put him on the road when Summer was last seen in the basement?
Yeah.
That's another thing that I think out. Sometimes I'm constantly thinking about. Well, wait a minute. Mom puts her down in the basement from the boys. So either that's a total lie.
Yeah.
Which it is.
Or it's the truth.
Which is, and then why would she lie? So that, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Right. And then you have Dad says, "Oh no, well, I think a stranger came up the dog trail and snatched her."
Yeah.
And then the only thing that connects that is this idea that some dog, a tracking dog, tracked Summer to the road from a piece of property where Summer has lived for 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not real hard for any dog to track any one of those people that live there.
Yeah. Well, according to them, that what Fred overheard is about how they had a hard time finding any type of clothing that was just Summer's.
Yeah.
Is the way he acted.
Get your summer sin on them.
Yeah, the cops didn't they say something like they couldn't, something about it was mixed in with the dirty laundry or something.
Yeah, they said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is mixed in with the dirty laundry. That was the problem. Thank you, Anna Orlando. Pruitt doesn't have to tell you anything about the case. It's under investigation. Do you know how many people have tried to FOIA anything on this case? Anything. It's an open investigation. I'm not on one side or the other. I'm definitely on Summer's side. But since she brought up Andy and he got nervous and he called Pruitt, this is how it went down.
Sheriff's office.
Yeah, I was just trying to get a hold of Detective Pruitt. I was trying to find out a couple things about something.
Hold on just a minute.
Thank you.
And thank you, Jaded. They can hold their tongue or flat out say, I don't know, for the sake of investigating. Boy, it takes Andy 2 seconds to get Pruitt on the phone. Ugh, you wouldn't believe what I have to go through.
Detective Pruitt.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
All right. My name's George Bernard, Andy Bernard. I live at 125 Ben Hill Road. I was just trying to figure out some information, maybe, possibly.
What about?
Well, okay, for 3 years, I've been wrapped up in the middle of the Summer Wells case. For a while now, Fred, my cousin, has been saying that I was on the road that day. Nobody else has questioned me after I left my residence, when I separated from my...
You're cutting in and out, sir. I can't hear half of what you're saying.
Can you hear me better now?
Big T said, who is George Bernard? That's Andy's first name. His name is George Andrew Bernard. He said, this is George Bernard, Andy Bernard. That's his middle name. Very personable. Marissa said it's still not under investigation. That's a matter of opinion. True story. I think they said they've made a lot of progress in the last year.
A little bit.
Okay. I left my residence, didn't go back till September. I went through a separation in the process. I mean, I was just wondering, I was just trying to figure out if there was anything I could do, needed to do. Do you need to talk to me, see me? I mean,
sir.
I mean, was I on?
Unless concrete leads come up that we can sort of verify the direction it's headed, we're just accepting concrete leads, and your name has not come up.
Okay. Well,
That, and I wouldn't put too much faith in what Fred Hill was saying.
well, I kind of knew that for the rip, but for 3 years, this has kind of been affecting me for 3 years.
I can understand, sir, but like I said, your name is not relevant to the investigation, so you don't have anything to be concerned about.
Okay, I greatly appreciate that. That eases my mind a lot, and I greatly appreciate you, sir.
Have a good day.
You're not relevant to the investigation, Andy. You're good. If they needed you for something, they would say, hey, well, I got you on the phone. And we know Andy, him and Jody Sue split the sheets. I believe he's married to someone that Jody Sue calls coleslaw. Sketch, sketch, sketch. Well, for the millionth time, thank you for being here for the right reasons. Thank you for keeping Summerwell's name at the forefront. We have another show tomorrow at 9 a.m. Are you going to be here? I have a feeling you will, because it's gonna be a biggin'. So thank you, Mod Squad. Thank you, new members. Thank you so much for all the new memberships. Thank you for everything you do to keep this community going. I will see you back here at 9 a.m. You guys are the absolute best. Love ya.